You weren't dying. Hell, you probably could have made it through the day at school. But that scratchy throat and just hot enough forehead, that was your golden ticket to the best day of doing absolutely nothing. While your classmates were getting yelled at for passing notes and choking down rectangle pizza, you were about to experience something magical. The secret world of daytime television, Campbell's soup that somehow tasted better in a mug, and that weird twilight zone where time moved like honey. This is the story of the greatest non-vacation of the 1980s. Being homesick from school when you weren't quite sick enough to sleep all day. Look, we need to talk about those sick days. Not the ones where you were actually miserable. I'm talking about those perfectly calibrated days where you felt just crappy enough to stay home, but not so bad that you couldn't enjoy every second of it. These weren't just days off. They were sacred rituals. A whole alternate universe that only existed between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. on weekdays. And if you grew up in the 80s, you knew exactly how to milk every glorious minute of it. From Bob Barker's hypnotic voice to the afternoon rerun marathon, from the specific way ginger ale hit different when you were sick, to that moment when you heard the school bus rumble past and realized you'd beaten the system. This was peak childhood victory. Let's start with the morning lineup because nothing said homesick quite like Bob Barker's voice floating through your fever dream at 10 a.m. You're wrapped in that scratchy Afghan your grandma crocheted in 1973, watching contestants lose their minds over a dinette set. You had no idea what anything cost. A washing machine could have been $50 or $5,000. Who knew? But that big wheel spinning, that beep, beep, beep sound slowing down. If that contestant hit the dollar, you felt it in your soul. You'd actually clap, alone, in your living room, for strangers on TV. And here's the thing nobody talks about. There was something weirdly comforting about watching other people be happy while you felt like garbage. That energy somehow transferred through the cathode ray tube directly into your bloodstream. By the showcase showdown, your sore throat didn't seem so bad. Then noon rolled around, and suddenly you were drowning in a sea of soap operas. And let's be honest, you had absolutely no idea what was happening on any of these shows. All My Children, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, they all blurred together. Someone was always pregnant with someone else's baby. Someone was always back from the dead. The dialogue washed over you like white noise. But Miranda, don't you see? Jonathan isn't really Jonathan. He's his own evil twin who survived the yacht explosion. What? Whatever, pass the tissues. Your mom might drift through to deliver another ginger ale. This time with fresh ice, because moms in the 80s had a sixth sense about when your drink had gone flat. By 1 p.m., you couldn't tell if you were watching The Young and the Restless or just having a fever dream. Victor Newman's mustache started to look like a separate character. But then, sweet relief, the soaps ended and the reruns began. This was the comfort food of television. 2 o'clock meant Bewitched. Samantha's nose twitches, and Dora calling Darren Durwood. Peak comfort TV. The formula was so predictable you could call out the beats from your couch, but that predictability, that's exactly what your sick brain needed. Then came Gilligan's Island at 2:30. How did they have coconut cream pies on a desert island? Why couldn't the professor fix a 3-foot hole in a boat? These were the deep thoughts occupying your fevered mind. By 3 o'clock, the Brady Bunch would roll around. Oh no, Marcia's nose got hit by a football. Meanwhile, you couldn't breathe through your nose, and nobody was writing a very special episode about it. But here's what made these reruns special. They were yours. Your classmates were learning about the Louisiana Purchase, and you were here, in your pajamas at 3 p.m., watching Mr. Brady's Perm. You weren't missing anything at school that was better than this. Now we need to talk about the food situation because sick day cuisine was its own special category. Campbell's chicken noodle soup, but in a mug, not a bowl. That special mug with Garfield saying, "I hate Mondays." The soup was always exactly 40% too hot, so you'd blow on it until your face turned red, burn your tongue anyway, then let it sit until it formed that weird skin on top. The saltines came on one of those Corelle plates that literally every household had. White with that thin, greener-brown flour border, practically indestructible. The same plates your mom got from her mom, who probably got them with S and H green stamps. She'd fan the crackers out like a deck of cards, and you'd eat them one tiny bite at a time, letting them dissolve on your tongue. And the ginger ale, sick day ginger ale, had magical properties. Canada Dry, Room temperature at first so it would be okay on your tummy, then cold with fresh ice in the afternoon. You'd stir it with a spoon to get some bubbles out, but not too much or it would go flat. You know what's crazy? These sick days taught us it's okay to stop, to just exist. When's the last time you watched TV at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday without guilt? When's the last time you ate soup from a mug just because it felt right? That world doesn't exist anymore. There's no Bob Barker at 10 a.m. Soap operas are basically extinct, and nobody's mom is bringing them ginger ale with the perfect ice-to-liquid ratio. But your mom would appear periodically with offerings: a cool washcloth for your forehead that would be warm within 30 seconds, Vicks VapoRub that she'd apply to your chest like she was preparing you for mummification, and those cherry-flavored throat lozenges that were basically candy, but nobody was allowed to say that out loud. If you were lucky, around 1 p.m., grilled cheese cut diagonally, never straight across, that was for healthy people, with the corners just burnt enough to be crispy. Daytime TV commercials in the 80s were their own special breed of weird. You'd get soap commercials where women would smell their laundry and look orgasmically happy about April Fresh. You'd watch from your snot castle wearing the same pajamas for the third day straight, wondering what April Fresh even meant. Then the daytime lawyer commercials. Have you been injured in an accident? No, Barry, whatever. I'm 8 and I have strep throat. But the best were products you'd never see in prime time. The clapper. Clap on, clap off. The Chia Pet. Why would anyone want a terracotta sheep that grew green hair? And I've fallen and I can't get up. Mrs. Fletcher became a meme before memes existed. 3 o'clock was when the magic started to fade. You'd hear it, that distant rumble of the school bus. The real world was returning, and you were still on the couch in your Transformer pajamas with a tissue stuffed up one nostril. Your siblings would burst through the door, eye you suspiciously, and immediately declare you were faking. Mom, he doesn't look that sick. But Mom knew. She'd feel your forehead with that magical mom hand and make the call. We'll see how you feel in the morning. The afternoon shows would shift. Your sister wanted Gem. Your brother lobbied for G.I. Joe. The sacred sick day bubble had popped. Here's what nobody talks about. Those sick days weren't about being sick. They were about being still. They were about existing in a parallel universe where productivity didn't matter, where your only job was to heal, whatever that meant. We learned that sometimes the best medicine isn't medicine at all. Sometimes it's Bob Barker's voice at 10 a.m. Sometimes it's that perfect grilled cheese cut diagonally. Sometimes it's the sound of the school bus passing by while you're still in your pajamas. These days, when we get sick, we check email from bed. We work from home, which is just work, but in sweatpants. We've lost the art of the sick day. We've forgotten how to surrender to the couch, to let daytime TV wash over us, to eat soup from a mug without checking our phones. The world we're nostalgic for isn't just the 80s. It's the permission to stop, to heal, to let Bob Barker and a can of Campbell's soup take care of us for a day. Years later, when you're actually sick, with responsibilities and nobody to bring you ginger ale, you'll remember that exact Afghan texture, the precise temperature of that soup. The way being homesick wasn't really about being sick at all. It was about being home. What was your perfect sick day? Drop it in the comments. Bonus points if you can still sing the Price is Right theme song.